Well, good evening, brothers, and welcome to the second virtual chapter meeting of DU at Illinois. The theme of this chapter meeting is This Old House, as we prepare to restore 312 East Armory to its original grandeur of almost 100 years ago. My name is Mike Clark. I'm a 6950 and pleased to have been part of the DU house for more than half of its history. Tonight is another step in that history, as you will hear officer reports providing an update on the renovation work, the financing of the renovation, and the special grand reopening reunion to celebrate the successful conclusion to the renovation, and a special guest that will be in our good and welfare portion of the chapter meeting. This Old House is a popular TV show, now in its 45th season, that tells stories about a variety of renovations that could be done to a home. A sequel to that show, in much greater scale, could be produced now at the chapter house of DU at Illinois. The appropriate title could be This Old Greek House, with a subtitle, Down to the Studs. Down to the Studs is a good description of the extent of the renovation. Let me relate a brotherhood anecdote about that description. One brother, Thomas Smithwick, class of 7250, heard the description, down to the studs, in describing the renovation and thought, wow, down to the studs must mean that my pledge class has a special role in the renovation. Yes, that is correct, Tom. Your pledge class and every pledge class has a special role in the renovation. That role is to support the project and to get your brothers to step up and be studs in their support of the renovation. As the walls of the house are torn down to the studs, it is natural to think, what if the walls could talk? What a rich history could be recorded from all that the walls have seen and heard. What entertaining stories could be told. Given thousands of chapter meetings with debates about house policy and house government, the officer reports, votes on rushees to become pledges, votes on sorority exchanges and pairings, house elections and those speeches, and all the talk at dinners and the informal conversations about the meaning of brotherhood and the meaning of life, and where the DU experience would take us in the future. And what of the experiences of pledge class dances and winter and spring formals, and hosting alumni at homecoming, and moms and dads on their special weekends, and the mundane tasks of Friday night house cleanup? And what of that special, meaningful experience called the national exam? All this punctuated by the pranks and humor and the craziness of everyday life in the house. Wow. Grab some of your favorite memories and see them as though they just happened yesterday. Yes, the sequel, This Old Greek House, would be a terrific hit. An actor named Bob Vila was a star of This Old House for the first 10 seasons. So I'm pleased to recognize the DU version of Bob Vila, brother Chuck Black, class of 9050. Chuck, handsome as he is not an actor, but a world-class architect who is leading the production of This Old Greek House. Chuck will recreate the role of VP of Maintenance in this virtual chapter meeting and act out his officer report to share with you the progress of the renovation. After Chuck's report, Kevin Kinsella, class of 8250, will take on the role of social chairman and offer a preview of the celebration plan for the grand reopening of the house. But first, before Chuck appears on our virtual chapter meeting stage, we'll have an appearance from our acting president, Dan Gibbs, class of 85, who's providing us with great leadership for the renovation. Welcome to Dan Gibbs.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. Thanks. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here this evening. I'm not sure if all of you attended the last session, but we're getting some momentum here on alumni communications. It was about 5 months ago that we were together, and it's great to be back together to give you an update on what's going on. Dave, actually, could you go to, that's not the right slide. Oh, yeah, it is. It's in a different format. Did you change the format? Okay, I can roll with it though.
I added the campaign status.
Yeah, no problem. So if you take a look at this, this is the update as we sit today. And a couple of things that I'll point out. If you take a look, the campaign goal is still $4 million. And the total that's been committed is 3.3. And actually, Dave, this is 3.4. I'm looking at your thermometer, Dave. I'm sorry, it's just throwing me. Anyhow, so I'll just stick to the center. So essentially, if you take a look at it, 3.37 or almost $3.4 million came from individual donors. And then if you'll recall, if you were with us last time, we have what are called these side campaigns. Various areas decided to do things, and sometimes in memory of folks or just as an era to raise money for the campaign. And you'll see those two side campaigns that are right there. Typically, a side campaign contributor would also likely be an individual donor. So they might have donated here and then to one or both of these campaigns. So you see that currently we're at $3.4 million, just over. When we were together last time, we were just about 3.3 million. So we're $109,000 further along than we were before, which is great news, which is 85% of our goal. And then these are our verbal commitments that we have so far. Some of these have actually come through as pledges. So we have the potential from what we have in hand today to almost approach $3.5 million. So that's just fantastic. And Dave, if you want to move on to the next slide. This shows you, and I'm not sure I'll show this again, it's a little bit of a busy slide, but for those who didn't attend last time, what I attempted to do here is show by class the contributions that have been made to the campaign. And so the 1985s are at 21%. I'm just going to do the top four. 1989 at 18%, 1973 at 9%, and 1981 at 6%. And the donations we've had coming in, which is good news, have been in many cases from some other classes. So we're starting to get some participation, greater participation across other areas and classes. Dave, next one. So the first thing I want to do is just say thank you, thank you, thank you. I say this all the time. We've come a long way. So every time we're pushing the alumni for more money, I don't want the thought to be lost of how grateful we are for what's been done, especially the people who are tuning in that have given to this campaign. It's just phenomenal. I remember having conversations with folks compared to the DU Challenge in the mid 80s and how far and beyond our expectations we thought we could come. So we had a goal of $4 million and we've done really, really well against that. So thank you for all those who have supported that. Dave? You know, however, despite our amazing fundraising total to date of over $3.4 million, we need to drive this number higher. Chuck's going to get into some challenges we have with the project, and these aren't unexpected, but certainly with inflation on materials and labor and everything, plus the complications, it's made the project more expensive. And so it's more important than ever that we really reach that $4 million goal at a minimum to cover these costs and maintain the promise aspects of the renovation. And so, you know, one of the things we work with Chuck is a prioritized list of things that come off if we don't have enough money and can come back on if we have money, and he'll be getting into some of that a little bit later. Dave? You know, so one of the fundraising challenges that we face is that we have a very low participation rate compared to other high-performing projects that our fundraising consultant and partner Pennington has been involved with. They've done hundreds and hundreds of these things. And at the University of Illinois campus, we made it to the largest dollar number project that they've ever done there for a fraternity, which is really great news. But it's only 15% of our alumni. We have, over 1,400 living alumni, and we've only reached 15% of them at this point. And so if we could just tap into another 5 or 10%, that sounds like a modest goal, and those people just gave a little bit, then I think it would make a huge difference in driving us forward. Dave? So for those of you who have cherished your time at Illinois being a DU, or you count your brothers amongst your best friends, the time to step up is now. It's time to be recognized. We've had a lot of pledge classes that have done really well, but this is, as I'm saying here, it's the one Illinois chapter of Delta Upsilon. Just like the United States, we're a nation of states. We're not just one state. And so we really need and want participation across other pledge classes more robustly, if at all possible. And so a little homework assignment I might give you, and this shouldn't be too difficult. If you know of a brother who hasn't donated, who had a good experience at DU, or you keep in contact with them because in large part you were DUs together, can you reach out to one or two of them and just encourage them to donate? And then if they're inclined to do it, maybe they can call one or two people, and it's the old telephone chain that we talk about where many hands make light work, and we can really make a dent in the number of participants, because really we're in that phase right now where we want people to give something, give anything, right, just to help us get more participation. So I'll just leave with this. The whole goal is to pay it forward for the DUs who came before us. I think in terms of in the 1950s or such, they were doing things to maintain the house that allowed me to have a fantastic time with my brothers. And so you're going to see later, we have a great class of undergrads that are excited to get back into the house, super excited. And so let's do this for them, if not for us, based on what we were able to get ourselves out of Delta Upsilon. So thank you. And at this stage, what I'm going to do is pass it along to Chuck so he can get into some more of the details about what's happening with the construction, which I know is going to be really interesting to everybody.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, brothers. Mike, for the kudos at the beginning there. I appreciate that. I've had so much fun at the house, and I think it's, there's a long line of guys that were in the house before me that made things what it was for my experience. So if we're not doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for future guys that, are yet to walk the halls of DUs. It's quite amazing who's walked through that front door, and I'm really happy that we're not tearing the building down, because it is a sound structure, and anything that has that amount of age and that amount of wear and tear is going to have its, amount of issues. And so by gutting the second, third, and fourth floor attic, we've discovered some of those things, but realistically, we've uncovered opportunity, a lot of unrealized spaces that are just, they're ready to sing. They're sitting there. So to that end, if you want to flip to the next slide, that's a great picture of the finished product. Our new house is going to look even better than what we see in that picture. Right now, it looks like a bombed out, shelter of some sort, but that's usually what happens for this type of renovation. It looks looks a little rough before it gets better. So if you want to flip to the next slide. Here we go. If we could have pledged these squirrels, we wouldn't even have to raise money. What you're seeing in the photos is some water damage, and then there's some squirrel damage. This is not uncommon when we pull buildings apart that are old and have a lot of quirky roof angles, and using vintage construction materials that haven't evolved through the whole industry of roofing. water infiltration mitigation. So a lot of what you're seeing is things that have been uncovered. We do have a lot of water damage in and around some of the walls and some of the roofs, roof to wall areas. And then quite truthfully, I think the people that built the building, they got a little tired at the end when they got to the roof. It must have been August and 95 degrees outside, because it looks like they ran out of material and ran out of gas to get it done. And so, the contractor's really good contractor, really good superintendent. He's like, Chuck, you gotta get down here and take a look. So when I walked in, nothing ever surprises me. It wasn't the full on, oh my gosh, this is a house of cards kind of thing, but I was just looking at a lot of things that should have been done in the original 1920 build. And to think that we had slate on the building, is quite amazing that it didn't come crashing down with that amount of weight on it. And so a 2x6 roof rafter is only meant to span so far. It's not meant to span 21 feet and then have a high sloped center loaded roof coming down on it with a snowdrift on it and slate. So they used pretty good wood back then. But what you see in the pictures, not too crazy. It looks terrible. It's getting fixed. So all that rotten wood that you see in daylight is in the process right now of getting closed up and replaced. So we did have a bit of a squirrel problem. You need to see where that was from the outside, but having extracted all the plaster off of all the walls and the ceilings and the roof, really exposed how many little avenues that they were traveling through. So the plan right now is to close all that up with new materials, and we're actually capping all of the underside of the soffits with black metal, soffit metal, and then we're wrapping fascia boards completely with metal. So we're going for a low maintenance, long-term fix that should last a long time. A lot of the roofs will get repaired and new flashings installed. I'd say about 90% of the stucco, the Tudor stucco, is literally falling off the walls. So we had to take that into account in some of the new work on the west side, where we're extending up the fire escape to the 4th floor penthouse suite. So a lot of that was getting replaced anyways, but the whole east facade is getting completely redone. The stucco facade over the back door, that's all already been, new sheathing's been replaced. And we had to do a whole intricate restoration detailed plan of what was there, so that when we put back the newer material, it matches what was there originally. So we're retaining all those old brackets, all those little moldings, all the Tudor 1x material, and then we're using a material called LP Smart Side. So it's a wood-based composite material. It has some kind of cements and resins built into it. So termites don't like it, squirrels don't like it. It looks nice, it paints easy, and it comes pre-finished in a lot of different colors. So we'll be able to match what we're doing there. We are going to give the building an updated look. Feldco Windows is providing the window package, so we're getting a detailed vinyl window that is black on the inside, black on the outside. And it will be a vinyl window, so it's high performance, low maintenance. And then we're going to go with a black trim package on the fascia. All that trim that's currently brown is going to be updated to a black finish, so it'll look very sharp. We'll still have an off-white on the stucco color, but between the brick that we have and that kind of styling, it's going to just take the DU house to a different level architecturally on campus. So getting back to the damage, the cost of dealing with some of these sizable things. So we had a $312,000 contingency, but We're trying to offset the new stucco siding. So our glass is filling on one side. We're trying to empty it on the other, just to keep it balanced on the overall budget. So we are not doing some things that we wanted to do, but that's just how it goes. But currently, when you do drive by the house, it's looking pretty much under construction. So anyway, you can go to the next slide. So discussing some of the unforeseen expenses, we had to do a lot of engineering and architectural detailing that we really didn't address in the base package of drawings. So for the last month, I've been working with my guys to dial all that in. I probably did about, 35 pages of structural calculations to put in new beams, some steel beams, a lot of wood beams, and then a lot of integrated restoration detail plans. So I'll be down there on Thursday, and so we'll check progress. But our focus right now is to get the entire outside of the building buttoned up so that it's water and weather tight through the winter. So we've done a lot of, residential and commercial projects. So, nothing ever surprises me. But when you peel that onion back, you never know what you're going to find. So we did build in a sizable contingency. But, there's always, you don't want to erode the contingency. And then at the end, we do want to buy a lot of new furniture and get some updates to the women's restroom and that kind of thing. So we're tabling, the contingency fund, what we have left, and we're not using that for anything else other than what we absolutely need. So what we need at the moment is a lot of just build out of the second, third floor, and fourth floor attic spaces. So we're not jeopardizing the fourth floor penthouse rooms. We'll have some nice rooms up there. We're actually cutting in some skylights, and we'll have some nice, city of Champaign skyline views, but they'll be facing north. We have a whole zoned HVAC system that we've basically, I think we have 8 or 9 different zones to the building, and everything is air conditioned, and it'll be a gas forced heat and electric cooling system with individual zone control. So, getting back to the contingency, we need to offset the cost of these unforeseen items by eliminating the kitchen expansion. I don't think the boys would know the difference, to be honest, if we made the kitchen bigger. Certainly something that we should probably do, but I don't think that it's actually something we need to do. So I'd prefer to not throw money at something that's kind of working now. We do want to update some of the appliances and outfit the kitchen with state-of-the-art high performance stainless steel cabinets and things like that. So dinnerwares and things are stored better. But the additional donations that would come would just help, take the building to the next level. We are still just renovating and restoring that first floor. We have a piano that's valued at $127,000. I had no idea. It's currently sitting in storage. If you want to play the piano that Arnold Beckman played, somebody can get a couple people together who are music people, and that would be a fantastic piece of history that would be nice to inject back into the building. Do we need, a restored Mason and Hamlin piano? I don't know. I'm a little tone deaf, so it's not for me, but there's a few guys out there that could probably push that back into the front door, properly set it in place, and let it play beautifully. We had a lot of fun over the years, listening to guys that actually could sing and play the piano. So it'd be a piece of our history that would be nice to have. We can flip to the next slide. So right now our construction schedule is tracking on par with what you see. We do have some challenges that we have to get through, and we're past most of those with the design engineering on the framing system. But For the amount of materials and things that have been extracted out of the building, I think we're doing really well right now. Like I said, when you drive by there, it might look, not like anything will ever finish on it, but the whole east side of the stucco is removed now, at least the bottom half of that. You wrap around to the north side, that stucco's all been removed, and that new framing's been in place. So they're making their way around the building. So in the fall here, as things get dried in, our new windows should be somewhere around November 1st. It'll take about a solid week to install those. So once those get in place, I think there'll be a marked difference on the look of the house on the outside with brand new windows. Also, as part of that window project operations, we want to get all the new gutters and downspouts around the outside so that things drain appropriately. That is something that could get deferred till next spring, but it will be nice to have that complete. A lot of like our HVAC system is from a lot of standard off-the-shelf components and equipment. If there's any supply chain issues, I actually have another colleague who has what we need in stock in their warehouse. So if we get in a pinch, we can always go to my resource and contacts here in the Midwest. So usually on these projects, windows are a big thing. HVAC equipment's a big thing. We have an active and well, it's not currently active, but the fire system is getting remodeled, but we have the whole service coming in. So that's a big hurdle that we don't have to go outside to the street and tie in a new fire protection main. Everything on the basement and the first floor is going to be maintained. And then we have a riser going currently to the second floor. From the second floor, we'll be redoing all of the fire sprinkler piping on the second, third, and fourth floors, and then getting rid of, we currently have an antifreeze loop on the fire system in the attic, so that's getting removed, and we'll have a whole new wet system going in. The entire energy envelope above the first floor is going to be 100% new insulation, windows, restoration, and remodeling of some of the energy envelope with the roofing. So we'll be in good leak-proof shape here in the next couple of months. So to that end, the other thing that's getting fully replaced, and I was going to try and save a nickel, but there really wasn't any point in it, but we're getting rid of all of the existing plumbing going through from the street to the attic to the roof. So it's going to be 100% new drainage, waste, and vent system and domestic water. The kitchen, we're deferring that right now because we have a functioning kitchen. There's some existing small code violations with the dishwasher and a few other little things. So we'll make those minor repairs and save the money for replacing all of the kitchen drainage, waste, and vent. That's all working. And there's a couple of these kind of segmented things that the best way to meet your budget is to eliminate sections of scope to pay for new things that come online. So not doing the kitchen addition, we literally were going to add out to the west side a new stair addition, and then that would facilitate making the kitchen bigger. If we do find the need for that, everybody's told us we needed to do that, but if we need to do that, that is something that we could defer to the end of the project. I'm more inclined to say that we're going to defer that to like the next summer's scope and just do something that's boxed in a 3-month beginning and end. The design's done. So, right now we're looking good to finish on time. We've done a lot more complicated projects with a higher dollar value and less time. I'm fully committed to this project. Linda, my wife, Linda, she's going to be wondering why every other week I'm going down to Champaign, in the middle of the week, but our contractor needs my help and we need to get this thing rolling. So I've slated the next couple of months to get things just pushed through and get things just solidified so that we hit our mark come August. We also have, a whole furniture package. There's several $100,000 worth of furniture to purchase, and that's going to go in all the new suites. So we're not rebuilding like the old closets that we had that just had like tons of junk piled into them. We're going with a furniture solution for each room, so each brother can go in there and kind of rearrange their own setup of furniture. We'll have elevated beds. We'll have a desk, a chair. There'll be some drawers in the desks. We'll have an upright armoire, which will have 2 pull-out drawers at least, and then a bunch of hanging space. So each member will get their own unitized setup. And then we'll also have dressers that might be shared in a 2-person room. So you'll end up with another section of drawers that'll be your own personal drawers. But one of the issues that I discovered in a lot of this architecture of the space is that it was designed back in the 20s, and they ended up building in a lot of things. And what ended up happening is building in all those elements really compressed a lot of these spaces. And so where you have a room that is, say, room 9, the room is kind of narrow at 9'3", but it's like 21 feet long from front to back. And so by eliminating the closet in there, and then plugging in this furniture solution, there will be a lot of extra space volume-wise within something that seemed a little compressed previously. So 2 guys be able to share that space, no problem. And then the brothers can, if a couch fits in there, they can personalize that space with their own couch and their own, coffee table. So I'm digressing, but those are the thoughts behind. That's the thoughts behind what we're doing. We'll have a whole new LED lighting system. We're not going crazy on the lighting in each bedroom, but we are doing a drywall ceiling down the hallways. The days of doing a lay-in ceiling are kind of over. There will be some access points to get in and out of that ceiling, but contractors already figuring that they're doing a high-impact drywall for everything. So it's going to be a fantastic building, and I think one of the bigger assets is the first floor. It always, when it's cleaned up, it's painted, everything's patched, the lights are all working. I mean, it's just a fantastic space. There's not a whole lot of properties on campus that kind of look like that, and so really looking forward to the final product. I already see the vision of what it is going to be just from professionally doing this day in and day out. So I'm super excited. I think people are going to be blown away when they walk in the first floor, but then when they go in, they see the private suites upstairs. They're going to be pretty excited. A lot of the 3rd floor spaces are going to have lofted gabled ceilings like in 14 and 15. Those are going to have vaulted ceilings going up about 16 feet. There's other spaces within like 16 and 17 that have all these weird, quirky roofs that come together. We're exposing a lot of those things. So the geometry within the space is going to be quite fantastic and very unique to our building. Not unlike the membership. Everybody's different, so each room is different. A lot of these fraternity and sorority houses, when they're knocked down and then done new, they cookie cutter them one after the other. Every room's looking the same. And then the other big thing is the new and improved Lounge 5 on the 2nd floor. It's all wide open to the hallway, so that's going to be a fantastic place to watch ball games and just hang out. And it's all integrated part of the living space. What's the next slide? We talked about schedule a little bit, but is there anything else?
So are we going to show, Chuck, are you going to show that video? To show everybody what the walk through the house?
We can. Yeah, did I miss that? Video update.
Yeah, I think this would be really interesting for people.
Yeah, so did our own little video rendition about a month ago. So if you get a chance, this link's online, but walking in the front door, you could see how the stair is opened up where the old trophy case used to be. Looking to the left, the place, by the way, does look fantastic with everything kind of all the junk, not junk, but old things moved out of there. So looking forward, that door to the right of the stair is going to be maintained as the ladies' restroom. So that section of stair that comes down to the first floor is actually going to come out towards the front door, just like it did in the past. And now I'm walking up the second to the second floor. The wall in front of you is going to be completely removed. Where I put my finger out there, that's all going to be opened up from floor to ceiling. Now we're walking up to the lounge 5 area. So that area, that closet's going to go away. And looking down the hall towards the east, that bearing wall that I'm pointing to is going to be removed. And then that's all opened up to the new and improved lounge 5. So the anticipation is to have a widescreen television. As we pan across, that's where the ball game TV will be. And then you can look down and you actually can see the first floor and up into the 3rd floor. So walking down the hallway, room 6, room 7. So you can see how big these rooms are with the closets removed. There's room 10. Then we're back into room 8. Let's walk down memory lane. It's back to the house mother or RA suite. We are going to put a private bathroom back in where it was originally, and that's that opening in the floor. Now we're looking into the bathrooms through the wall. The good news is we have good power. We're going to that's the old chimney. That's gone now. That's been fully removed from the roof to the first floor. I'm going into the bathroom here. You can see some plywood opening on the floor down below, but the floor above on the 3rd floor is in good shape, but that whole section of floor is rotten, needs to be removed completely. So we have a full new microlam beam system and floor joist going in there. And then everything south of, everything to the right is in good shape down below. So we don't have to replace the entire floor structure in the dining room ceiling or the 2nd floor. Walking out, we're walking into room 1. So again, that closet's gone and that room's much bigger. So that's an area where somebody can set up the bed. It's going to be wide open to the rest of the room. Walking back into room 2. Room 2 is going to get bigger, and room 3 is going to get bigger. Room 3 has a chimney removed, but there's the penalty box and built-in closets between 2 and 3. So we're kind of splitting the difference with a new wall kind of in between them, so they gain a foot space, which is nice. So that chimney's gone. So that's where the area is going to get a new wall in between, splitting the difference. So room 3 is going to get much larger, as well as 2.
And Chuck, just to be clear, that the chimney is the old boiler chimney, so we're not losing the majestic.
You can hit pause for a second. That is the old boiler chimney. So now that we have a new new HVAC system, that boiler chimney, the need for it's just gone away. So we picked up some real estate. And then the other good news is now that we've removed from the roof to the 2nd floor, just at the 1st floor ceiling, the old chimney, the stack, we're using that as a chase to get to the basement for the whole new drainage, waste, and vent system, and the water risers go in that old chimney cavity. So I think it had a 15 to 18 inch diameter chimney. So that's gone. And we're what's not shown here, we overlaid new 3/4 inch plywood over everything, and we're putting a gypcrete, a thin gypcrete leveling compound on everything, so it'll deaden the sound. Our electrical sub panels and everything are in good shape, so we're reusing those. There will be a little minor pitch transition going to the stairs. The stairs get the railings cut off and a whole new railing system goes in with new decorative railing spindles and a wood top. Headed up to the third floor, and then the whole walkable surface of the stairs just gets a wood look luxury vinyl tile cap, and that'll match the new floor system. We're going into room 14 right now, and looking towards the window, there's a kind of a void space above there. That's where the ceilings are going to be vaulted up to the peaked area up into the attic. So that'll be just a wide open angled space. The good news is with the roof system we have and how the roofs come down, we have nice chases to bring our new ductwork for the HVAC systems from the attic, from the fourth floor roof, and then down through some of the mechanical areas and then into the knee wall space. I'm showing right there where we're replacing the entire south beam line with new framing. That's going to be a flush framing system. You can kind of see where the angled roof comes down into the middle of a 2x6. That's not good. You're also looking at the lighter colored wood is new 2x10s sistered up into the attic. There's the room 16 area. So that's going to get opened up and it'll be a deck down area, a 20-inch step. Going back into room 15. Room 15 is also going to have a high vaulted ceiling in it. This gives you an idea what the ceiling space or the volume space is going to look like in the fourth floor. That was not walkable at the time, but you can see the new lighter colored wood is brand new 2x10s. That closet's going to remain on the third floor. We'll still maintain an IT closet, and it's likely to be there. Here's a valley rafter. Well, that's a study area for the fourth floor, up above that peaked area. So we're not putting any windows in there. So that'll be a nice quiet study area up on the fourth floor. Going into the old open air dorm. This will be 2 new rooms. We are looking at opening up some of that knee wall space is unrealized square footage. So we might put a couple of doors in there for closets into those particular rooms. I can't really remove those because we need those to support the high slope rafters. And then the porch is kind of settling out, so we're overdecking the floor and shimming that to level. There's about a 3-inch, there's a 3-inch slope down. So making that correction on the floor system. This is a nice room. This is probably one of the bigger rooms. So that'll be one big room above room 9. Trying to pick up on any of the anything in the chat, but I'm not seeing it.
Hey Chuck, like I told you, it looks better demolished than it did before you started.
Well, it's just, you know, I always, even when I go into my tenants' places, I'm like, I always go like this, you know, I don't want to look at their stuff. So it is fantastic. So, you know, we're doing all new plumbing. There's a lot of old cast iron. We just won't have to, we don't want to worry about it, you know, getting this far, you know, something as big as plumbing. So it's going to be 100% new going out to the street. And we already have the new water main coming in for the fire system that was put in 2009. So anyway, that's part of the, that's it. I don't know if I have anything else. Oh, let's see, Keith Weagle. Will Lounge 5 be a sleeping room as well? Answer is yes. So that will have its own separate door for the sleeping area of Lounge 5 off of the hallway. And the cool thing about Lounge 5 is that little peaked area over the front door. We're adding a skylight in there, and then we're taking out some of the wall framing there to make it a much more user-friendly space. And so it's going to be kind of more opened up, but it's going to have those kind of weird little sloped ceilings in there. So it's going to be a kind of a cool little room. Any other chat columns? Or chat questions in the chat column? I'm looking.
Chuck,
A lot of
the-
fun comments.
Chuck, the peak of Lounge 5 was spring of 89-90. Do you agree? There's a little argument in the chat. Spring of
Yeah,
of
so
89
we
and
had
90,
we had impromptu after hours after the bars closed. So I remember kegs up on the Lounge 5, right? So
sure, among
That's-
other things.
pretty fun times.
I'm certain that that kind of activity did not begin during your time there.
Right.
Yeah, but we may have perfected it. I
I
don't know.
don't
Hard to
think
say.
so.
Well, I'm glad we all think we upstaged the other class, going way back. That's awesome. So I don't really have anything else. I hope I covered everything. There's 9,000 square feet of, really big build out space on the second, third, and fourth levels. So as far as, what has to be accomplished, I think we're in pretty good shape. The thing about our contractor is they have full fleets of guys. So when it comes to brass tacks, we could just hit it hard. And looking forward to getting dried in with the new windows, and then I think after that it's just we're gonna just be banging out a lot of stuff quickly. It's just kind of been an ongoing thing, just trying to. Go ahead.
I'd just like the group to know that the Cooney family, Bill Cooney was my late brother's godfather. The firm had a hand, I believe, in building Memorial Stadium. The Petrie family has been in Champaign forever. These are quality people that care about doing a good job. I really commend the alumni board and you, Chuck, for picking them. I can't imagine there being a better firm to pick.
Yeah, we had a couple of competing people, and we only ended up with 2 people that were interested in our project. So I was able to meet up with them and walk them through and explain the project. We had done a lot of preliminary plans. So the Petrie Coon family has moved on, but the 2 guys that are running it, they're very excited about this project, and they need all of my plans, which it's been challenging for the last month to finish those, but we're at a point where we're in good shape with those. So yeah,
Chuck,
I can't wait to see it.
What you've done, Chuck, is great, and I really commend you for your leadership. Thank you.
My pleasure. I mean, I had so much fun doing all this VP maintenance stuff from the get-go. I mean, guys that was there with me, at the time, it was pretty much a learning lab for me. And so we would sit around and think about ideas, other architecture students and I, and, what would you do with the DU house here? What would you do with it there? The time is now. We're implementing a lot of these ideas that have been gestating over, 30 plus years. So it's pretty exciting project to be a part of. So my pleasure, really.
So thanks, Chuck. We're a little bit behind on the agenda. Hopefully people can hang in there. So thank you. And who's next? I think it's Kevin and Dave and Peter.
Oh, Mike's going to handle this slide.
Oh, yeah.
Again, a special thank you to Chuck for that excellent update. And from all the brothers, we are so fortunate to have your talent and your experience with the house being contributed to this project and making it so much DU. And we really, really appreciate that. I would say that the report from Chuck should give everybody a good look at how the contributions that you've made to the renovation project will be used. And again, thank you for the 3.4 million that has been contributed and pledged, and know that you truly are paying it forward. And the undergrads are very excited about returning to chapter life at the renovated house. It's possible that with the initial announcement of this renovation project a couple years ago, some of you were a little skeptical, a little unsure about the ability to complete a renovation of this scale. So this may have influenced your initial contribution, and that's understandable. So please know that this renovation is 10 times as large as the DU challenge of the mid 80s. So if you have more confidence now in the success of the renovation after seeing this progress, possibly you might want to revisit your contribution. So additional funding now is very, very helpful. And also, as you check the list of contributors, which we'll make available to you, you may know of a brother that is yet to support the project. And in talking with that brother, you could express your support and encourage those that have not yet contributed to offer their support. So thank you again. And now to our acting social chairman for the evening, Kevin Kinsella, who will share plans for the grand reopening.
Well, we start out with last Monday night chapter meeting. We were Dave Howe and I, Dave, class of 82. We're lucky enough to take in the first chapter meeting. Also like you to meet Peter Medevere. Peter's class of 27. He's on the call. Peter, you're there, I assume?
How's it going, guys?
Dial it in a little bit more, a little bit louder, buddy.
Oh, can you hear me? Wait, hold on. Let me.
Yes, that's better. Peter's the good-looking guy sit with the right in the middle with the blue and gold on next to Dave Howe. He's going to be our liaison with the chapter for this reunion. And Peter, maybe give a sense of what it was like a week ago yesterday at the first chapter meeting for the semester, would you?
Yeah. So it was great. We had a good first chapter, as you can see from that picture, and we welcomed Kevin and Dave, and we just talked a lot about what the future of the house is going to look like in the reunion, which I think a lot of the guys are really excited to hear about. It was most of like them the first time they've heard about it, just because I've been working on this project and I've been telling some of the guys, but it was good to have the whole chapter there and explain how it's going to work, and just kind of those starting pieces to prepare for the event coming up. And so that was great. Kevin and Dave got to come and see a chapter. That's our senior house, which we've been hosting our events out of, and we will be this year, which has been working out well so far, but it stinks without the house. I loved hearing you guys' room 5 stories. I only had that house last year and I didn't live in because I was a freshman, but I have my own room 5 stories. And so those are great to hear. But yeah, what I'm doing right now with the chapter, I just really want to make sure that we're all on the same page for this event coming up. And I've been working with Kevin and Dave to relay that information. But also, if you guys have any information for me to pass along about alumni and just like the building and fundraising, please let me know.
Yeah, Peter's a stud. We're literally lucky to have him on the crew, and there's a lot to be done to make this thing come across successfully. The senior house, for those of you who need a smile, is literally across the street from University Inn, the old University Inn, in the shadow of Seeley Johnston's old residence across the street. Very fun, accordingly. Dave, maybe advance the slide if you would. We'll just give you a quick overview of what we've been doing about the reunion. Dave Howe's been putting in a lot more work than I. Thank you, Dave, very much. Not really advanced purposes here, but you can read the screen, and there we go. Maybe you would, but I think the once in a lifetime component, we have an excuse here to make this a once in a lifetime. Don't not reach out to people and encourage them to put this on their calendars. We'll talk about dates in a second, but one of the biggest joys, and I bet the fundraising committee people would agree with me, is this has been an excuse to talk to people I never thought I'd get to talk to the rest of my life. And this event carries with it the same joy. So be thinking about who you should be asking to attend and getting people to Champaign to see this wonderful celebration. Dave, you would advance, please. The date, actually, what we'll do is we've decided to use a non-football weekend, so we don't have any trouble with hotel rooms, getting the rooms we want. And we're closing in on the date. If you might advance the slide again, please, Dave. They've recently published the football schedule for 2025, and we asked you before to save all of these dates, but especially the September 5th, 6th, and 7th. That's looking like the date we're going to be able to zero in on. So today's September 3rd, so almost happy anniversary. Great time of year. It's the weekend after Labor Day. And the format we'll go over in a second, but there'll be a strong Friday night reception. And Saturday we'll have the day at the house with bringing people back and forth from the hotels and such. Dave, you could advance, that'd be great. This is kind of the overall agenda we're looking at right now, where Friday night would be at the reception at Garden Inn. If you want to have some fun with that, that's the renovated property from the Chancellor Inn, which some of you old timers will remember. That's where we had the 75th anniversary in 1980. So being back at the same facility is very fun. So Friday night will be there. Dave and I walked with the caterer a week ago, yesterday. We're close to finalizing the date and the arrangements for Friday night. And then Saturday will be the morning and through the midday. We'll have buses bringing people from the hotel to the house, possibly over to campus a little bit. And the buses will just circulate until we get everybody tired of being circulated. So it should be a lot of fun. Be a great time. So put this on your calendar, and we'll be able to announce the firm date hopefully within days. Advance, please. And just Peter, I appreciate your comments here. I mean, what I found coming out of last week's chapter meeting was I thought that about half the people in this picture will never live in this house. And I was duly impressed, not only with the caliber of person, but also with the enthusiasm for those who would never live in the house. Can you comment on that a little bit? What was your perspective on that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's an interesting point. I never thought about it until you brought it up, Kevin. But
Yeah.
I think it's just an exciting idea because everything is run out of the house, as you guys know. Like, the house is just such a pinnacle point of your undergraduate years at University of Illinois. And so even if you're not living in it, it's some place to come back to. It's some place where your friends are, some place where your brothers are. So I think that's the biggest part to it.
Maybe you could speak just real quickly. I was really impressed, not only with the caliber of man, but also with the recruiting rush efforts that are underway. From what I talking with 2 or 3 of the rush chairman folks, the concept of selling the dream of this beautiful new house to live in seems to have tremendous appeal to potential pledges. Whereas when they saw the old house, which was basically time to put it to rest, it wasn't much to sell. The dream seems to be a bigger sell than, and you guys have taken a very half full glass approach to it. Any thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I don't mean to call him out, but Colin Goebel is one of our rush chairs. He's currently on this call, and I think he's probably just listening in. I don't know if he's able to talk, but I think he could talk to it even better about that.
What let's unmute Colin, could we? Hey, Colin. Colin's got a cool hat on. You want to see Colin just for his hat alone, I think. Can we unmute Colin? Thank you for hospitality last week. What are your thoughts on perspectives for Rush?
Of course, I think that this semester, I was a rush chair last semester as well, and this semester has already been looking very good, and I think it is definitely can be attributed to the new house construction. Just the amount of times that I've talked to prospective new members and about the house construction and just seeing kind of the looks on their eyes and how they can see the future just as we all do with this new house, it really does make me happy to see how much that's been helping.
Great, good perspectives. I saw a note come into the chat about the holiday Hilton Garden Inn sold out. Actually, we're talking about blocking 60 to 100 rooms there, so we're in touch with the right people. But stay tuned for reunion updates. They're coming, and it's going to be exciting. You can advance the slide, Dave, if you would. We don't know how many people are coming, but we hope it's a bunch. We'll let you know as soon as we do. You can advance. Budget-wise, we're thinking around $100 a person, probably to pay for the Friday night reception, the buses, decorations, things of that nature. Again, just stay tuned. Being that it won't be a football weekend, I think it'll be pretty clean that way. And we'll keep you posted. You can advance. Mike, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Kevin. This is going to be a great party, so everybody should want to be part of it. We're going to move into the good and welfare portion of the chapter meeting, and we have a special guest to conclude the good and welfare. And I'll just give you a little background to this person. Person has been part of DU for almost 70 years. That's 70. As an undergrad, person was an officer in the House, involved in all the House activities, and also represented the House on the Illinois track team. On the alumni board, this person served as chairman of the board 3 different times in 3 different decades. And with Seeley Johnston was co-chairman of the DU Challenge, and also was the person who started the DU Educational Foundation Fund on behalf of students at the University of Illinois chapter. Person also served 6 years on the University of Illinois Alumni Board, and this person was at age 37, the youngest chairman of an international trade association for his industry. And the company that he owned that was part of this industry employed many, many DUs over the years. This person also worked, I believe, with Chuck Black on the conversion of the junior dorm to study rooms, and not only put in brain power, but put in lots of manual labor. And as a capstone to his involvement with DU, this person was awarded the highest honor that's available to a DU from the International, the Founders Medal. And this was awarded at the 100th anniversary in 2005. So I'd like to introduce to everybody Hank Lang for a few closing remarks.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Mike, and thank all of you who have supported this rebuilding campaign. No doubt some of you are asking yourself, who is this guy? Well, I'm an Illinois DU, same as you, and I have connections to the now distant past history of our fraternity because I'm old. I'll be 87 in a few more days. But this isn't about the past, it's about the future. You are shaping the future of our brotherhood for generations to come. What you have accomplished so far with the capital campaign is remarkable, and I wouldn't know how to compare it to any past project in our history, other than the purchase of our chapter house to make the move from Green Street. Your collective financial investment in making this project possible is generous beyond all expectations, except yours. I'm proud and overwhelmed to be alive to watch this dream come true, and hopefully to be with you for the reopening of the chapter house next year. And I know that I speak for many of our members whose voices are now silenced, and for the few who, like me from distant past generations, are still here to tell you how proud we all are in your personal demonstration of this lifelong bond of brotherhood that we share with you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we are going to post it. There'll be an email blast coming out so that you can see it and pass it on to people. And I think that could be very powerful. We're almost 15 minutes beyond our time, so I don't want to delay it anymore. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for participating. Thank you for your love of the house. You wouldn't spend an hour and 15 minutes listening to us if you didn't have an interest in the house. And for all of your donations and support in many different ways. It's been fantastic. And I feel that we're going to push this over the goal line. We just need people to stay focused and push us forward. So thank you. Have a great evening, and we'll be in touch soon.